Well, it looks like we are going to be seeing Venom versus Spider-Man a lot sooner than we thought. And I am talking about Tom Holland's Spider-Man versus Tom Hardy's Venom. Now, this was actually teased in the post-credit scene for Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, and for the post-credit scene of Spider-Man No Way Home. However, it was kind of a tease of a tease. The post-credit for Venom, Let There Be Carnage teased us that Tom Hardy was now in the MCU. However, in the post-credit scene for Spider-Man No Way Home, they took him back to the Sony Spider-Man universe, only leaving a piece of that Venom symbiote in the MCU, which is all Spider-Man would need to be completely engulfed in Venom. And this did set up a Spider-Man versus Venom, or at least Spider-Man having the Venom symbiote suit in the next film. However, as time went on, we started to believe that we weren't going to see the Venom symbiote suit until Avengers Secret Wars. However, a new report from a very reliable insider tells us that we are going to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man fight Venom sooner than we think. The only question right now is when? When is this going to happen? Is it going to happen in Venom 3 or is it going to happen in Spider-Man 4? Now, of course, there is always the possibility that it could happen in a movie like Deadpool 3, where we see a lot of different variants in the same place. However, since this insider is stating that we'll see them sooner than we think, I'm assuming we'll see Venom vs. Spider-Man before Avengers Secret Wars. In fact, I think the story could work very, very well, actually leading up to Tom Holland getting the Venom symbiote suit in Secret Wars, just like he did in the comics, and him understanding what the symbiote is and intentionally using it to increase his power. We'll break it all down in this video, and if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Spider-Man and Venom news, and of course MCU news as well. And if you subscribe and leave a comment, you're automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox Series X, a PlayStation 5, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. The winner gets to pick one item, and we pick one winner at the end of each month. So the insider, Can We Get Some Toast, posed a question on Twitter: who did Venom better, Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 for PS5 or Sony's Spider-Man universe? In which insider My Time to Shine Hello responded with, the movies did it better. They didn't even touch on the split personality stuff in the game. Movie Venom is also so much fun, and I can't wait to see him and Tom Holland's Spider-Man fight sooner than you think. Now, again, this was teased by both Sony and Marvel Studios in two different films, in a Sony Spider-Man universe film and in an MCU film. Plus, not to mention, Tom Hardy has been teasing a Venom versus Spider-Man movie for a very long time. He specifically said in one interview, if they're in the Olympics, Spider-Man versus Venom is the gold medal. That's what they're shooting for, and he would be crazy not to go for that, not to go for gold. This was him speaking after Venom 2, talking about what Venom 3 could have in store. So we already know he said that. Plus, not to mention, Tom Hardy is pretty sneaky. He constantly posts pictures to his Instagram page and deletes them right away. And he's posted pictures of Venom and Spider-Man a few different times. Now, again, we now have the Venom symbiote in the MCU, but from what we've heard, it looks like it's Marvel Studios' plan to give Tom Holland's Spider-Man the Venom symbiote in Avengers Secret Wars like they did in the comics. So if that is true, how are Venom and Spider-Man going to fight? Well, I think it will probably happen in Venom 3, because they could set up the story in the MCU, not in the Sony Spider-Verse, but in the MCU in a really great way if Tom Holland's Spider-Man somehow goes to the Spider-Verse and comes back. One, we know that if it is a Venom versus Spider-Man film, Spider-Man and Venom aren't going to be the end. There's going to be another villain in there. We know how these stories go. It's kind of like a Batman versus Superman. We know it's not going to end with one of them dead. And there's going to be another villain that they have to team up with each other to defeat. That'll most likely happen in Venom 3 if we do get a Spider-Man versus Venom. And that would actually benefit Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the MCU, at least at first. So say somehow, and it's really not that far-fetched to think about right now, since we are indeed in the multiverse saga and we are going to start to see a lot of different variants, we're going to visit other universes, it's not too far-fetched to think that Tom Holland's Spider-Man somehow ends up in the Sony Spider-Verse and somehow meets Eddie Brock / Venom. Well, we know that Venom kind of thinks that Tom Holland's Spider-Man looks tasty. We saw that in the post-credit scene for Venom, Let There Be Carnage. But we also know that in the post-credit scene for Spider-Man No Way Home, Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock was stating to the bartender that he should probably go to New York and find this Spider-Man guy. then he seemingly got brought back to his own universe. However, I will say that we don't exactly know for sure what happened there. But let's say the opposite happens. Let's say Tom Holland's Spider-Man goes in the Sony Spider-Man universe. It's now possible that Eddie Brock and Venom now know what Spider-Man looked like because they saw him on that TV screen. So if he shows up in their universe, they'll be able to spot him and they'll probably track him down if they see him. This is how we could get a Venom versus Spider-Man. And of course, like I mentioned, ultimately they'll probably team up to fight some other symbiote. And of course, ultimately it would lead to Tom Holland going back to the main MCU, or perhaps maybe even not. If the TVA is showing up and recruiting heroes in Deadpool 3, perhaps the TVA shows up and takes Tom Holland's Spider-Man away to save him, to bring him to this Battle World universe, and perhaps he even takes Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock as well. That way Venom and Spider-Man are there. We know Deadpool 3 goes right into Secret Wars, and we know that as of right now, based off of what we've heard, it's Marvel Studios' plan to do a comic accurate Secret Wars for Spider-Man where he gets the Venom symbiote for the first time. Well, if he's on good terms with Venom and he sees what Venom can do for Eddie Brock, then why wouldn't he think that a Venom symbiote that could possibly be good would be good for him and would give him more power to fight Kang and all of his variants? It would be very clear to Spider-Man that you could work with a Venom symbiote together, because that is what Eddie and Venom are doing. So it would just make sense that he would think, well, I already have my Spider-Man powers. If I combined those with this symbiote's powers, I would be even stronger, and of course, I could help defeat Kang. This is how everything could be set up. But of course, this is not the only option. We could go right into Spider-Man 4, and Spider-Man, by the end of the movie, could have the Venom symbiote attached to him somehow without him really knowing. That way, when he goes into Secret Wars, that's when he really finds out what it is. Now, this doesn't really give us our Venom versus Spider-Man though. Again, it is possible that that could happen in Deadpool 3. Spider-Man could get brought into that Battle World universe, and so could Venom and Eddie Brock. Because let's face it, we know that not everybody that's getting taken from all of their respective universes are going to be getting along on Battle World. If the TVA really is taking a bunch of different heroes and possibly villains from a lot of different universes and putting them all in one place, heads are going to clash. Even good heads are going to clash. It's not just going to be heroes versus villains, it'll be heroes versus heroes as well. If you get personalities like Doctor Strange and Tony Stark variants clashing with each other, and perhaps maybe Victor Von Dooms and Deadpool and Wolverine, we know it's not going to all be, well, not all gonna be good, and we could probably assume that some people are gonna die due to some fights. So it very well could be in Deadpool 3 that we get a Spider-Man vs. Venom, but unfortunately we're going to have to wait to find out. Now, of course, it could happen in Spider-Man 4. The Venom symbiote is now in the MCU. It is possible it could attach to somebody else. However, if they want to go comic accurate, it needs to attach to Spider-Man first. So it's possible that it attaches to him, then he gets rid of it, and then it goes to somebody else, Eddie Brock of the MCU, and they fight that way. But that goes directly against the Secret Wars plans for him getting the Venom symbiote for the first time in Secret Wars. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait to find out, but let us know what you think is the best option to get a Venom vs. Spider-Man in the MCU, or perhaps in the Venom Spider-Man universe. Let us know all of your thoughts and theories in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest MCU news. Of course, you can always follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.